I like to open things up with a quote. Quotes to me are very powerful. I learned that from Coach Wood and spending time with Coach Wood while at UCLA, who is my heavenly mentor and perfect for that point in my life. Love Einstein, big Einstein fan. Once we understand our limits, we go beyond them. All right, remember that. Growing up in Kansas City, I never wanted to be an NBA player. I never wanted to be rich. I just wanted to be heard. Because I come from an environment, our community wealth is creativity, our community wealth is resilience and passion to continue to evolve, trying to find who we were from the past, who we want to be in the present. So I just wanted to be heard. And basketball was that place for me, like most athletes. It's that place where you can lose all your childhood traumas. You can put on a jersey and you became someone else. And for that game time, you were on a stage, and whatever happened in your homes, whatever happened in school, whatever happened walking home from school, and everything that bothered you and kept you up late at night no longer existed. And on Fridays, I used to clean up, people don't know that, I used to clean commercial buildings with my mother. My mother is first generation Mexican American. My grandparents were undocumented immigrants who came from Mexico to Kansas City, where they met my father, who is obviously African American. This is not a 10, right? My father had me at the age of 47, but my father was one of the first blacks to integrate the U.S. Army as a drill sergeant in 1954. So I was always raised with a chance and accountability of doing more for your community. And it just came through the gifts of basketball. So three things that really stuck with me through my entire experience in basketball and sport. Kids have this dream of being rich, famous, playing in the NBA. I just wanted to survive the day from walking home from school. That was my only thing that I wanted to do more. And when I would go play, and I grew up in an all-black neighborhood, so when I would go play, I could always hear my mom because she'd be yelling in Spanish. That's not normal in the hood when you're hooping, right? So you always had this unique, diverse background that I never knew would be more influential than a time of my life like now, black and brown. Kids, inspiration, wanting to grow. So I would study the greats. So I actually studied people like Coach Wooden and people like Einstein. And Einstein, if you don't know this, he was the only person from his graduating class that didn't have a job offer. The only person. And he had to take an apprenticeship job, that is where he created all of his theories. So what that taught me is life is a journey. You want to make God laugh? Tell him what you want to happen. He'll laugh. It's not going to happen the way you want it to happen. It's a journey. We're going to journey through. We're going to have ups and downs. You're going to cry. You're going to think it's not going to happen. But it's choices in our life that these kids have to understand. These choices from right and wrong. These choices from happy and sad. You can have human emotion. As I sit and hear us talk about, career in sports, and I'll call it life after the jersey. As I sit and hear us talk about how to build these young people, we cannot build them until we first build their mindset. And when I say build their mindset, I mean mental health. I mean PTSD for those of us who come from the hood and we've seen things that are not normal, but we somehow normalize them. We have to build these kids because I'm telling you what, it's a lot of my teammates, and the average career in the NBA is only 3 years. I was very lucky, very blessed, and I know I owe everything back because I'm only 6'1". I'm not supposed to be here. But the average career is 3 years. A lot of my teammates suffer from mental health. And the stigma they get is athletes are unfaithful. Athletes can't keep a marriage. Athletes struggle in society. No, athletes struggle from mental health. We need the same platforms the other people get that we never got to say it's okay to struggle from mental health. We need the same opportunities, the same resources in our inner cities where our kids suffer from ADHD, ADD, PTSD. And I know this because I'm a father. I live it. So we need those same opportunities. So as we continue to push this mindful momentum shift to giving kids in which I love Los Angeles. My mom sent me here to live with Baron Davis in April, and I moved straight to South Central on 85th. Baron grandmother took me in for 5 months. I told my mom, you thought you sent me to a better place? I gotta learn real quick around here. Can I cross that street until Sunday? What? I had to learn real quick. So Baron became like my adopted brother. His family became my second family. And from that moment on in 1997, which I've always remained in Los Angeles, it became my home. My daughter was born here. She doesn't really connect with Kansas City like that. She thinks it's country. But she was born here. And you know, as a father, where your daughter is where your heart is. So this is home for me. Being involved in all these great networking opportunities and these mentors, what I learned most out of anything in creating basketball programs for kids, which to date is $41 million in scholarships. What I learned more than anything is what I would love is the beginning of the season, the spring season. We have kids from South Central, we have kids from Watts, then we have kids from the Valley over here, kids from Beverly Hills over here. And what I learned more than anything, by the time you go compete, and it's probably not the right thing to say, but it's going to be the honest thing to say. I don't know how to not be honest. By the time you go compete, and you put on the same jersey, and I've been in many pregame meetings with player personnel intel. Never in one pregame meeting that they say, this kid is a black basketball player, this kid is a white basketball player, and they rarely say this kid is a Mexican basketball player. Never they say that. They say this kid can shoot, he can dribble, he can pass, guard the three, he's a driver, he offensive rebounds. It's amazing how these kids who wear the same jersey eventually start spending the night at each other's homes. It's amazing how these kids who come from different economic and ethnic backgrounds and religious backgrounds start spending the night at each other's homes and their parents become best friends. And it's the beauty in sport and competition. Love, nurture, teach. Love our kids. When they fail, when they succeed. Because love is the only thing that matters. Life is short. If Kobe didn't teach you that, then you'll never get it. And where I'm from, I've been losing friends since I was 12, so I got it a long time ago. Nurture. We have to nurture our kids because they're going to fail. We all fail. Failure is a part of success. Sports teach you how to fail and play the next day. Sports teach you in basketball, next play, next play, next play. Next play, next play, next play. Our culture, where I'm from, black and brown, teaches us next moment. Next moment. Inspire the next moment, live the next moment, build the next moment, raise up those from behind, teach. I was very fortunate to have these amazing teachers in my life, and my story is very much like a unique story. Coach Wooden was the main teacher in my life that taught me that the power of love, and he would tell me that Sundays, every Sunday he would write his wife, who was deceased at the time for probably 15, 20 years, he would write her an amazing love story on a piece of paper. He would write how much he loved her. He would write to her. He would photo and put the envelope underneath his bed. He had thousands of envelopes. Then he would talk about the love for the team, the love for character, love in building. He never talked about winning. Never talked about winning. He talked about doing things the right way, having character outside of sport. So when you get into sport, everything is done the right way because it was all about longevity. Lucky to have him in my life. Jerry West, lucky to have him early in my life with Memphis Grizzlies. UB Brown, who was my first real coach ever in life that was not close to my brother's age, 10, 15 years old. He was a real grandfather figure who was unique. UB Brown, Jerry Sloan, Greg Popovich, who hired me to become a coach right when I retired. Those three coaches had a lot in common. They never cared about how many points you averaged. Every time they talked to you, the first thing they asked you is, how's your family? And they knew your family names. They knew my mom's name, my dad's name, my siblings' names, and it made me feel loved. It made me feel connected because the one thing athletes feel, we feel like all you want from us is our talent. And then after we're done, we're through. And that's been a history of athletes for time in and time out. And I know this well because when I got fired from the Phoenix Suns, I had a choice. Life is about choices. I had two little kids looking at me. I've never been fired in my life. Never. So I'm going back to school. I'm going to graduate from UCLA. And my daughter's like, why? I said, because education matters. Because this is chess. This is not checkers. And I went back to UCLA. And I was like, oh, I know they got me. I know they're going to pay for my school. I had to come out the pocket $37,000. So when I tell you, it is up to us to lead our children, to protect our children, to show them right from wrong, to show them there's choices in life, and it's always a journey. There's no such thing as a destination. You can succeed as much as you want. The most empty I've ever felt in my life in sport was the day I got my biggest contract. I was waiting for this jubilation of emotion, and I felt nothing because my little brother had just passed the year before. So love your family, love these kids. Mental health is number one, and understand it is a journey, it is not a destination. And only goal for me and for us as a group of people where we come from, where sport is not an option, it's a survival method, we got to understand that mental health is number one. Once we attack mental health, we can always teach a kid how to shoot a jump shot. We can always connect them to a person who is, influential in an agency space or an NBA team, or I just became CEO of a tech company or a tech company. We can always do that later. Protect the inner so the outer can be successful. Thank you.